Creators, welcome to DaVinci Resolve over 40 in 30 day 22. And today we're going to we're going to show you some more audio tricks. And at the same time, we're going to work with a vertical timeline, which is something we haven't done thus far in the series. But anyway, let's dive straight in. Let's pop over to DaVinci Resolve real quick, put on the O so you can see what I see. Let's start a new project, and we're going to call this COERTACOOL, no L, cooler. And then go ahead and say create. And when I get in here, I'm going to come down to the bottom and let me just zoom in so you can see I'm going to hit project settings. I want to hit vertical resolution because we want to use a vertical timeline. There you go. I'm just going to press save. Now I'm going to drag in a piece of footage that I just shot with my iPhone. And let me get that and pop it in here. Get it there. Get it there. Yes, we don't change the frame rate because, it's different setups. We're going to drop this to the timeline real quick. And we're going to see our file there. Give it a second to finish thinking. Of course, I'm going to hit this so that it big ups. Now, I want you to hear this. Oh, let me show you something really cool about DaVinci that I love. Right here, if I press this icon, it will allow me to see an expanded sort of vertical view, which is super helpful, right? Just to make it so that, easier to see what's going on. Let's listen to the raw audio first. Currently running a live stream thermal test using this Corticool cooling fan into the Sony ZV-E1. Now, there's a little noise in there from the fan, and I don't want to completely remove it, but I don't want it to be there. Now, I'm going to show you some stuff that comes in a free version. What you're looking at here on my side, let me make this in the right space. You're only going to have this one, AI Dialog Leveler. That's the only one that you'll see in the free version. These other ones, that comes because I have Studio, which is the pro version. But let me show you what you can do anyway. You can come in here and you can say, probably optimize moderate levels or whatever. I'm going to leave it for this first one here. But if I had really low talking, I would go down to the bottom and maybe this one. So you try whichever one seems to work for you. I think for the most part, we just want to optimize for moderate levels for this particular case, right? And then I want to leave that there. I don't want it to take out the loud dialogue. Actually, I don't know if there is any. I'm going to leave it there. That's fine. And I'm going to have the background noise reduction. So I'm going to put optimize moderate levels and then leave all three of these checked. Now, before we do that, let's do something really quick and click down here on the bottom to the Fairlight icon. That is that guy. And just so that you can remember which is which, I had this thought out for a second. Switch to page. Fairlight is Shift 7. So on your keyboard, you could also hit Shift 7 to switch to the Fairlight page. And the only reason why we're going to do this real quick is just to get an idea of how loud this audio file is. So let's back this guy up. And again, I like to make sure that I am on BS 1770-4. And I also like to make sure that I'm locked to transport and make sure that I'm on absolute scale. So let's play this real quick and see what our
currently running a live stream thermal test using this Corticool cooling fan into the Sony ZV-E1. Right.
So we're averaging around -18. If we want to get that down to 14, we're going to have to get it to 4. Okay, so, close enough. So let's come back here. And if I'm going to hit AI Dialog Leveler, and then I'm going to crank this guy up to 4, just to get it closer to that level that we want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press play.
Right now it's only been 6 minutes, but for the setup, I'm using a ZV-E1 with the 24 G Master on the front. I'm using an MPF 970 battery.
Listen, friends, my friends, that in and of itself is way cleaner. Without doing too much craziness, that is a much cleaner sounding file. Now, let me show you the other thing that you could do in here in the free version is you can right click on this guy. I think I might have to do this from the edit page, but let me see if it's in here. I don't see it in here. Let's go to the edit page. Right click on the audio file and you have this setting here to normalize the audio levels. In this case, my voice is relatively even, so it might not be necessary, but you see where there's a spike here and like these are all kind of in the middle. These are pretty good, but if you just want to see what it does, let's go ahead and press normalize the levels. Again, let me embiggen this. I like to use the 1770-4. There is one down here that says YouTube. Both of those would do you fine for what we're doing. But down here, I like to get my target to -15. YouTube says -14. I like to come just one down so that it doesn't get too crunchy. And then we're going to go ahead and say, boom, normalize. Let me get out of the big screen for a second. Let that normalize. And then let's go ahead and give it another listen.
Using this cortical cooling fan into the Sony ZV-E1. Right now it's only been 6 minutes, but for the setup, I'm using a ZV-E1 with the 24G Max.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. That was some quick fixes that you could do with the free version of DaVinci Resolve. We also talked about how you can use Auphonic.com, which will give you basically 2 hours a month for free, that I think does the best of all the tools that are on the market. But then there's also VEA, which is a one-time fee of $30, and that's a plugin from Isotope, which you can run in DaVinci, which does a phenomenal job. I would say it's right up there with Auphonic. Auphonic's a little bit better in my personal opinion. You got to work with your own ears, which is why I'm wearing my cans today, because you can hear it a little bit better. But let's not forget, there's one more free tool that I should tell you about, and let me show you what that is, and that's over at podcast.adobe.com. Now, I've uploaded the file here just by dragging it in, and we'll pull this back, and I'll let you hear the original clip real quick and play that.
Currently running a live stream thermal test using this cortical cooling fan into the Sony ZV-E1. Right now it's only been 6 minutes, but for
that does a good job. I mean, it really does a good job. I still feel the other tools are better. I think even the one that's built into DaVinci is better than this. But you can also use this slider to increase more of the speech enhancement and to take out more of the background noise. Just remember, in audio, whenever you're using a digital tool, if you go a little bit too crazy, it can start to sound a little bit like robotic / underwater.
The setup, I'm using a ZV-E1 with the 24G Master on the front. I'm using an MPF 970.
Now that just basically removed all the noise, and I don't want to do that completely because it makes the sound a little bit fake. Let's get back into DaVinci Resolve Studio and show you some of the advanced features you can do if you happen to have the studio version. And you're going to make a decision if it's well worth buying a studio just for these things. I think so, but this is up to you. So let's pop over into DaVinci Resolve. We'll get back over here. And as you look on the side in the inspector, of course, I still have the AI voice isolation thing that's capable. I have the AI Dialog Leveler that is there. They have something that's called AI Music Remixer, which is not going to help us in this particular case. Each one of these guys, if you happen to see these little 3 buttons on the side, that means that they have some extra things that you can get to by clicking that, and it reveals this dialog box that allows you to go in. Don't forget to check in the side to see if there's anything that you need to adjust there. Now, in this particular case, I'm not going to mess with either one of those because there's something even cooler than this. If we come up to the timeline section up here, and then we click on it and go down, and it says AI Tools, there's something called the Audio Assistant, which I think is cool. There's another audio tab down here. Don't get those confused. You want to be at this one and click on Audio Assistant. So we're going to click that, and it's going to give us our delivery standard. Again, we can pick this one and then make some adjustments. I'm going to stick to YouTube for this particular case just to show you, and then we're going to press Auto Mix. And what that will do is process the audio and figure out what it is, mix the dialogue. If there's any music and sound effects, it would go in and mix those as well, and then it'll pull out a final master. And then if we go to listen to this once it's done, and there you go, we can see if it sounds any different here.
That is going into the Z battery dummy here at the bottom. It is going HDMI into the Mac Mini. This Mac Mini is currently running Ecamm, and I'm doing this because this is a live stream test to see how long I can stream on this camera without.
That sounds pretty good just the way it is. Now I'm going to undo this real quick. Let's give that guy a quick undo so that we're here. And then make sure we turn that off, because when you add things like that, it can add a little bit more time constraints to your file and make them take longer to play. So we really don't want to do that. Let me see if I have an audio file here that doesn't have too much lyrics in it. Let's play this. Okay, that works. So we're going to drag this audio file down here to the bottom. All right. And without bothering anything, we're going to run that assistant again. Now, this is cool. There is something in here that's known as the AI Music Remixer. If I click here, I can bring down the drums a little bit, bring down the bass, anything that's too crazy. If they're singing, you can mute the voices, so forth, so on, etc. But let's just do the AI Auto Remix again without even messing with the audio track. So you got to click on Timeline, go to AI Tools, go to Audio Assistant, and we're going to select YouTube and say Auto Mix. And so now it's doing that audio classification, music mix. I should have shortened that clip so it doesn't take as long. That was my bad. That was super stupid. But actually, hey, this computer's quick. Now it's analyzing the dialogue right now. And hopefully it's not listening to me talking to you and making anything more crazy. Now it's going to mix the music real quick. And shaping the music. That's a cool name for it. Shaping the music. That was quick. And now we're going to do sound effects and ambiance. And then it's going to do some final mastering. And it looks like we're about 50% done. By the time I finish the sentence, I'm going to hurry up. I'm sentence done. All right, cool. Now let's take a listen. This, man, DaVinci, you are cool. I just want to tell you that in case you didn't know. Let's give this a listen.
Currently running a live stream thermal test using this Corticool cooling fan into the Sony ZV-E1. Right now it's only been 6 minutes, but for the setup, I'm using a ZV-E1
into the good
with
part.
the 20. This Mac Mini is currently running eCam, and I'm doing this because this is a live stream test to see how long I can stream on this camera without it shutting off. In the past, it's been shutting off in about 30 to 40 minutes. So hopefully this cooling fan works. It wasn't giving a heat problem warning on the camera. It was just shutting off. So we're seeing if this works. This fan is basically the same build quality and everything as the small rig, but way cheaper. So follow for the results.
Dude, that's actually quite amazing, family. I'm going to say, without doing a lot of stuff and having done this for quite a long time, that is actually really amazing. Again, you could always press Shift 7 or press the Fairlight button down here on the bottom to jump over and double check where you at with your loudness. And let's go ahead and give that a play real quick.
Currently running a live stream thermal test using this Corticool cooling fan into the Sony ZV-E1. Right now it's only been 6 minutes, but for the setup, I'm using a ZV-E1 with the 24 G Master on the.
Just because we're hitting that 14, I'm going to just take the music down just a smidgen, but otherwise it's dope.
Front, I'm using an NPF 970 battery into a Power Junkie.
Oh my God, that is glorious. That is glorious. Without you knowing how to do a lot of stuff, without you being an audio engineer, you can get your videos with background music sounding perfectly smooth with DaVinci Resolve Studio. Again, yes, I understand it's 300 bones, but this is where you come in as a professional and decide, do I have time to do all these other tricks that I was showing you in the beginning, or do I just want to put my video together, slap my music on there, and hit an AI audio assistant and let it do that thing? I mean, honestly, that's pretty good. That almost make me not feel the need for Auphonic. I can't believe I'm going to say that out loud. But that, my friend, is pretty dope. That, my friends, is pretty dope. You know what we say around here? I don't know who need to hear that, but if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. And hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. We only have a couple more days of this series. I can't wait to just get in there and start editing videos. I'm so in love with this. I'm finding new stuff every day. And this is the best part about like exploring anything you're trying to learn. Just like an hour a day, every day for like 30 days. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Stop being scared. Jump in. Grab your piece of software. Go to town. Have some fun. Right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in talk.